Hello and welcome to Week 2's Jing for CIS 210, Data Structures and Elementary Algorithms. This is Jason. And this week we're going to look at the Russian peasant algorithm. So to start, I have my menu class. And in that menu class, we've got a function menu in. And this portion is basically going to load my Russian peasant algorithm menu.txt file, and it's going to print it out to the user so that they can then go on to execute the program. Now, of course, after we open the file as read-only, we're going to close it out. So this part of the code is what is going to allow the user to select option 1 or 2 to either begin the program or exit out of the program. So for that, we have a variable option, which is going to be equal to an integer. It's either going to be option 1 or 2. So if the user selects 1, we're going to have the Russian peasant algorithm basically execute based on the user's inputs. We're going to put in number 1 or number 2. And then after it prints all my results, it's going to ask if we want to run another calculation. So now we have another instance of option where if the user says yes, we're going to rerun the algorithm. And again, display the results. And after that, it'll ask for another calculation. And it's going to keep doing this until the user says no. And at that point, we're going to get a little message that basically says, thank you for using this application, and we're going to exit the program. Now, for some reason, if the user starts the program and they decide, actually, I don't want to use it, you can choose option 2 in the beginning, and that is going to just exit the program with that message. So let's take a look at the code. I did rework it quite a bit to take into account the list. So now that the actual calculations are taking place in the list, so to start, I've got a function, the peasant math function, that's going to be x and y. We've got a blank list to start off for the x values, a blank y list to start off with the y values, and of course, our initial value is 0. So now with this, we're going to do a loop that says if, as long as y is not 0 and that y number is divisible by 2, we're going to add our x values to that initial 0 value to get our final total. Now this part of the function is where the lists, the operations are happening. So in the x list, while the loop's going, we're going to append our x list to basically have each x value times 2. And the same thing for the y list. We're going to append our y list so that instead of multiplying by 2, we're having all the y values. And as we're going along, we want to print out these x and y values so that you see the work happening. And just to keep this while loop in check, we have it running as long as the y values are greater than or equal to 1, and x values are less than or equal to 1, and then we get our final message that returns our value. So let's see how it works. Oops. We have welcome to the Russian peasant application. We're going to hit begin. We're going to say 12 is the first number, 12 is the second number. So we have all of our x figures and our y figures, and then our final total. So let's check and make sure that it runs another one. We do 40 and 48. Again, we have our x and y list, and then our final totals. And then we'll say no, we don't. So that's all I have for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.